Hello there, YouTube. I hope all you all are having a blessed day. It was a lovely day here on the mountain, as it always is. God is so good to us here. I am here with a delightful haul video, and this is from Essee Watercolors, and I am extremely excited to open this. So let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. Here is our lovely box here, and yes, I know I'm showing my address. That's perfectly okay. It doesn't bother me. Here is our lovely box, and this is a sample of opaque vintage rose, and boy, what a pretty color. That is delightful. Oh my gracious. Oh, I like this little tie. This is nice. Very nice. And so lovely wrapped. Oh, how wonderful. Okay, this is called the Arts and Crafts set. And this is a list of the colors that is in the set. Oh, here's that lovely rice paper again that has the little gold flecks in it. And there are 12 pans there, and we will start with this one. So I will open one of them with you, and this one is Paris Gray Titanium PW6:2, and I can smell the clove oil. Oh, it's wonderful. What a pretty gray. Oh, I do like that. So I'm going to open all of these up, and then we'll come back. Look at this paper. This is beautiful. I am using that, that's for sure. I've been getting the itchy fingers to do some art journaling again. I made a little swatch card for the palette box, and I'm glad I did because I had to figure out what colors were what. The names were not obvious, and the pigments I found some discrepancies in, so doing this was the only way to try and make a cohesive layout. So we have zinc white, raw titan, Havana ochre, flat peach, classic, and that should say velvet, not peach. Let's see. Classic velvet, okay. And then red grape, uva passa. And see, that says on the label that it's PBK. Uva passa was, okay, PR112 and PBK11. But on this list, it said that it was just PBK8. I had originally put it down here thinking it was a black, but it's not, and it's very, very pretty. Then we have Verde Alemana, olive green dark, Cassel brown, Paris gray, and lunar black. Now I don't think the zinc white is going to show up all that well here, so if I don't, if I don't go gaga over it, we get the idea, it's white. It does show up a little bit because this is not white paper that I'm working on. The next one is raw titan, and we have seen that before in the last batch of paints that I got from Essee. There was also a raw titan, and I believe a lunar black. This is a very nice color. It granulates nice. It's like a buff titanium. According to this piece of paper, it says that it is PW6:1. The next one is Havana ochre, and maybe I should have moved that over. It looked like a red to me, but it says it's Orca Havana PY43, which is a yellow. So I put it next to the white and the buff titanium. But boy, oh boy, that's a pretty color. Get some mastone in there. And let's see if we can't drop some water in there. The next one is flat peach, and that is a very pretty tan color. Let's see, does it have? It says PY37 and PR146 on that piece of paper. So I'm assuming it's some kind of orange equivalent. And The next one is Classic Velvet, and that does look like antique red velvet that has seen some sun. Really, really pretty. And I'm surprised that this palette doesn't have any blue. Maybe blue wasn't all that popular in the arts and crafts movement. And the next one is Red Grape, and that looks like it's really going to be gorgeous. Oh yeah. Oh, so pretty. Drop some water in it. Moving on to the next page, we have this Uva Pasa, and that is a very, oh, that is a glorious color. That is absolutely exquisite. Wow, that is so pretty. Okay, the next one is Verde Alemana, a very pretty green, like a nice sage green, with a bit of like green earth in that it's not a very strong, bold pigment. It's very soft and delicate. Oh, and I see little speckles. Yep, I see little speckles in here. And like I said, the pigment information is contradictory. On the label it says one thing, and on the piece of paper that came with it, it says something else. So I'm not sure which it is. So rather than give you some incorrect information, I would say refer to the website. And the next color is Olive Green Dark. Very, very pretty. I do like a good green. Let's drop some water in there and see if it wants to play. And the next one is Cassel. I love Cassel Brown, it's gorgeous. Oh, wow. Boy, oh boy, does she know what she's doing or what? Inga, don't stop making paint. Heavens to Betsy. What a stunning brown. Oh, I love it. This is far superior to something like, say, Van Dyke brown. This has so much more character. I'm seeing some rose in there. It's only one pigment. It is PBR 7, I believe, or PBR 6. Let's see, PBR 7. So it's one pigment, but it has so much life in it. I'm seeing all sorts of colors in there. It's just beautiful. The next one is Paris Gray, and this is a warm gray. I believe it is anyway, it might not be. And the last one is Lunar Black, and I do love Lunar Black. Wow. This is a cool black, and it should go crazy. It's already granulating. Yep, it's already granulating. Let's drop some water in it. All right, so for the most part, they are dry. There's one or two that are still damp, but you can see the lovely granulation in the raw Titan. It's very, very pretty. And then the Havana Ochre, but this granulates beautifully. This granulates beautifully. And the Classic Velvet also granulates. There's all sorts of little tendrils in here. And the Red Grape is, wow. That is just fantastic. And then the Uva Pasa, I believe, is my favorite in this palette. It is stunning. The Verde Alemana is still a little bit damp, but I love this. This would be fantastic on layered, thin, transparent layers. This would be fabulous for that. It's so soft and delicate. The olive green dark I love. It's got a lot of life and soul to it. The Castle brown, or Cassell brown, however you want to say it, that is granulating, but it is deep. It's a deep color. There's no, I still see some like rose or pink in here, kind of like this, but it's not as multi-dimensional as, say, the Lunar Black. It's still one pigment, but that pigment has a lot of life in it. It's beautiful. The Paris Gray is wonderful. It is so soft. And of course, the Lunar Black, I absolutely love Lunar Black. It always is a showstopper as far as blacks go. So I have one more palette. I'm going to go open up that palette of paints, and I will make a swatch card for the box. All right, these are very special paints. This set is called the 5 Mountains, and it's 5 genuine lapis set in ceramic plates. So the first one is Vivianite, then lapis lazuli, then malachite, tourmaline, and turquoise. The turquoise is an aqua green or aquamarine color. There are many different colors of turquoise. I will read to you. In this set, they only used pure gemstone to create the watercolor. No volume increase with marble or calcite additions. No color intensity boosters with man-made pigments. It was natural honey watercolor. The Vivianite is a blue ochre, a natural mineral indigo, a naturally occurring pale blue earth pigment composed of ferrous phosphate, owes its name to John Henry Vivian, who discovered the mineral at Wheelkind in St. Agnes, Cornwall. This pigment is insoluble in water and typically manifests as a dark indigo blue to blackish green crystals, often found alongside pyrite and copper. Vivianite can also be found in an earthy form, commonly associated with bones, decaying wood, and other organic phosphate-rich environments like peat bogs and clay beds. The next one is lapis lazuli, a deep blue semi-precious stone with golden veins, prized since antiquity for its intense color. The first blue pigment to hold its color. Lapis lazuli is the stone from which natural ultramarine pigment is ground. Until the 19th century, lapis lazuli was obtained only from mines in what is now northeastern Afghanistan. Lapis lazuli pigments are prepared from gem-grade rocks. The preparation of the pigment starts with cutting raw rocks to a smaller size and eliminating as much calcite and pyrite as possible. Then the size of rocks is reduced by a jaw crusher into coarse sand. The cleaned lapis lazuli sand is further wet milled in a metal-free environment to prevent contamination. The next one is malachite, and malachite, possibly the earliest ore of copper, having been mined in the Sinai and eastern deserts of ancient Egypt from as early as 3000 BC. Malachite is a green copper carbonate hydroxide. It was used as an eye paint, a pigment for wall painting, and in glazes and the coloring of glass. In the 19th century, huge deposits in the Ural Mountains of Russia supplied large amounts of malachite to Europe. And the next one is tourmaline. Tourmaline is a fairly common mineral. Numerous mines exist whose primary purposes is finding gem-quality tourmaline. Green tourmaline's energy works well with its family, other cyclosilicate minerals. Sorry, that was horrible. I apologize. The last one we have is the aquamarine colored turquoise. It's a genuine stone. The color is bright and transparent with amazing granulation. Aquamarine shade will be more of a transparent appearance with a slight blue-green hue, often resembling seawater. So those are the paints, and they could use a spot or two of water. Oh wow, you just tap it and it explodes onto your brush. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, these are stunning. Wow. I'm doing it backwards. I'm putting the mask tone on the right this time. Wow, wow, that's a new favorite. So these are actual gems, actual gemstones. The next one is lapis lazuli, and everybody should know what lapis lazuli looks like. Wow, this is stunning. What a beautiful sky color. Wow. All right, now I'll drop in some extra water and we'll just see what happens. The next one is malachite. Oh wow, look at that. I just barely touched it. Oh wow. What an exquisite color. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh man, I could lose myself in that real easy. Oh, I just want to play with it. And I don't even care if I make a painting. I just want to just spread it around on some paper. Now this is the tourmaline, and tourmaline can be so many different colors. Wow. Oh, is that pretty? And the last one is the turquoise. And it does turn blue when you add the water to it. It turned to a very, very, very pale blue. Wow, it's so delicate. Oh my. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Probably not. Oh, that breaks my heart that you can't see this. Wow. I've actually seen samples of turquoise that were white. Oh, wow. That is something. Oh man, that's pretty. These paints are stunning. This looks like a misty sky. This, wow. Lapis lazuli is just amazing. All of these are so stunning. Look at the granulation here. And the tourmaline. And finally the turquoise. Isn't that stunning? That is gorgeous. Inga, you've done it again. These paints, I have goosebumps all up and down my entire body, everywhere. These paints are exquisite. And I think I love the arts and crafts palette. Is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. There's no blues in it, but I have blues here. This, I can't get over it. Essee Watercolors continue to blow me away with every single paint that I try. They're just amazing. So do yourself a favor and get a hold of these. esseecolors.com, or you can go on to their Etsy shop. Their Essee Co, like that. Essee Co on Etsy. These paints are exquisite, and she does so much research, and she provides so much information on the pigments and what their story is and what you can expect out of them. And I can't thank Inga enough. These paints are just breathtaking. Again, every paint that I try of hers is amazing. Do yourself a favor and camp on their website and wait for them to be over summer break and get yourself an order in. These paints are certainly worth every penny. I will see you right back at 70 Acres Studio next time with another video real soon. Go play with your colors. I love you all so very much. God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. You are faithful.